Hey, this is Monica from Theotarin.
This is Pathos from Symphony
Hi,
of
this
Heaven,
is
and
Randy
you are
Rose.
listening to the Johnny Taco
Hey, what's
Show.
up, everybody? This is Paul McCoy from the band 12 Stones, and you're listening to the Johnny Taco
This is
Show.
Sloths in a Bucket on Johnny Taco Show.
Hey, this is Sergio Pollock from A Vespertine Rising.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy Sims from With Blood Comes Cleansing. You're listening to the Johnny Taco Show.
This is Patrick from Ritual Servant, and you're listening to...
Welcome to the Johnny Taco Show.
The Eagle has landed.
All right, guys, this is Johnny Tacos here, and we got a rock and roll special. Today, I got the guys back from Transcendent, and we're going to rock out. And right now, we're going to listen to Beyond the Veil here on the Johnny Taco Show. Now play that beautiful bean footage.
This is Filthy Rich from Praise Against the Machine, and my best friend is Johnny Tacos, and this is the Johnny Tacos Show.
All right, guys, this is Johnny Tacos here, and I'm excited to have Transcendent here, and that was the song Beyond the Veil. And just to let you know, progressive metal is not dead. It's fully out there, and man, it still brings me to the time when I was a kid and Dream Theater first came out, and how that music just it unraveled my brain, because I used to be very ADD, but when you had Dream Theater on, I don't know why, I was just more focused into it because of all the drums and the guitar and the 50-minute intro, So, but yeah, progressive metal, man, it's the lifeblood. If you really think about it, it's the lifeblood of music, and to put it towards a Christian genre, it just opens up more doors to feed, to nourish the souls out there, to nourish the people who are forgotten, who are lost, who feel that the end of the world, is upon them because they're confused. And when you put in the music that people love, and you put it with that Christian kind of feel to it, with the words and all that is solely spirit filled, it opens a lot of doors. And I've seen it. I've seen it at concerts. I've talked to ex-Satanists who became Christian because God spoke to them in their own type of music that they loved.
Yeah, very true.
Isn't that crazy how God will talk to you when you least expect it? All you have to do is just open your ears and listen and say, "Hey, God, talk to me." He loves to talk. Have you not read the Bible? He loves to talk.
Yeah, totally.
So
we just
can always tell when
listen as humans. Yeah.
You can always tell when God's speaking to you and trying to get a message across. And I think with what you're saying with music, and I'm glad that we can be a small part of it here, because I've always wanted to do this type of style, especially in a Christian realm, is that a lot of people grow up being taught certain things, certain ways. I think me and David's had this conversation before with growing up in some churches where there's a lot of things being taught that are man thoughts, man-made, brought up by how they were brought up, and taught how they were taught about how things were, and it's really skewed and it's not normal, and it really pushes people in the wrong direction. Okay, now you've got to be really scared, and you can't touch any of this devil rock music. It's horrible. You can't be anywhere near it, or we will all condemn you. And to find out years later that was never the case, that's a real eye opener. It's a real heart opener for a lot of people. It really helps you connect better with so many more things. But I think that's probably one of the biggest root causes, is that when people realize, oh, this isn't going to send me to hell because of the distortion on the music,
Yeah. Definitely. And plus it's got some tasty riffs too. You gotta have that. You gotta have that in
Absolutely.
the recipe.
David's real good at that.
Yeah. Speaking of tasty riffs, hey, I heard the 2 songs that you sent me, and man, how's your fingers?
We joke about that a lot. I joked about that with Paul, toward when I was getting toward the end of recording the overdubs to Beyond the Veil. I told him I was, my fingers were like really blistered, and he was just like, why do you keep trying to improve it? Because it's really good as it is, but you always try to keep reaching, kind of get the last note out of you can, but yeah, for real, they were really sore. And I took, a couple of weeks off where I didn't play to let them recover. And sometimes you got to do that, mentally too. But yeah, definitely had to let the fingers recover a little bit.
Yeah, you don't have to remind me about memory. My memory is slowly going away, that old age, the ripe old age of 22. Yeah, that's what I am, 22, and I'm sticking to it. So there's a new album, and I am so happy. About time it's getting through, and that's coming up soon, within like a couple weeks, right?
Yes.
So how did
26th of July?
Wow. And how long did it take to get that in the lab?
Wow. That really goes back to the last time I was on the show, back last June, where I just got done doing Under the Bloodshed with Dale Thompson from Pride.
Love him.
And yeah, love that experience. And that was really the springboard into Transcendent. And that experience gave me, of course, many, many ideas. And it helped me to start kind of refining the songwriting, trying to, get song structures down. So I had a lot of ideas. And so from that point on, from that summer, I really started, trying to organize these thoughts and ideas into a much more structured song format. And of course, this whole time, during that time, I was looking for a full-time vocalist, praying about it. And I was just hoping that, that the Lord would lead me to the right person. And as usually how the Lord works, it was just out of the blue. Paul just answered an ad that I'd had out there for months and months. And he said, "Hey, you still looking for a vocalist?" And I said, "Of course." And it was just kind of an immediate thing. He sent me some samples of some albums that he had worked on himself. And I was just absolutely blown away. I was like, this can't be real. And, and that's how God works. He just has the perfect answer at the perfect time for the perfect reason. And it was just on after that. I mean, I sent him demos of the songs, and he immediately started writing lyrics to it. And then we've been doing that since late November of 2023, and that culminated in May of this year. That's when we were finalized with the album.
Awesome. I am so happy you got Kratos to sing for you. I could imagine seeing you out on stage and you put on that Kratos makeup, the whole white skin with the little red. I could see you that. Yeah, I could see you look like that. That's pretty awesome. I don't want to give you any ideas. I don't want to give you too many ideas.
No, don't give him any ideas.
But having such a phenomenal guy such as Dale help you, with so much talent and years of experience, that must have been awe-striking to have him come out and say, "Hey, I'll help you out."
And that was one of the first things I said to David when we first connected. I said, "You were working with Dale?" Because I'm a big fan of Bride and his work. And I was like, "What do you need a singer for if you got somebody?" And then we got to talking about the reasons why. And it's like, okay, that makes sense. But going back to touch on what he was saying before, it's like I came across David's ads like 1, 2, 3, 4 times. After about that 4th time, I'm like, this isn't coming across my path over and over again just by accident. So that's when I reached out to him and said, "Hey man, what's this all about? Can I check out some samples?" And he sent me a couple samples, and I was like, "All right, let me try to write to 1 or 2 of these, and we'll see if this gels." And sure enough, we were just both happy as we could be. And here we are now with a record deal on Rocks Records and getting ready to release the album, and just it's quite mind blowing, and we're extremely happy about it. There's some other things going on behind the scenes. We're trying to get some other members involved and hopefully go out live soon. but that's still in the works. So don't want to make that official yet.
Yeah, and you don't want to rush anything, right? Because
exactly.
anything progressive metal is not rushed.
Right.
If you see how long it starts to make the lyrics and then have the music going, you want to make it perfect. And you want, when you go out there on the stage, you want to have that, you want to get that whole style and with your music just connecting right. And because I've seen people that are talented musicians, and then when they go out on the stage, it's like, who are these? These are not the guys that I heard on Facebook the other day. You know, it's because they weren't ready, and to be in front of a crowd, and I know this because I talked at the Disciple concert over thousands and thousands of crowds. It can get really, really mind jarring to be up there because everybody's looking at you and wondering, what are you going to do?
Yep.
And then when you do word salad and just jumble it all up, people think, oh, this guy must be special. They're having him up here because this is Make-A-Wish Foundation thing or something like that. and I actually remember doing a meeting when I was on stage, not meeting, but I introduced the Protest on one of the shows here in Dallas Fort Worth. I actually went left instead of right, and I just kept talking. I was like, I'm gonna eventually get this thing out. So have you, in your years of experience when you performed, have you ever had times like that, brain farts? I guess that's what the kids are calling it nowadays.
Oh well, I would say that does happen to everybody, especially in being in several cover bands over the years, and I'm still in one now. You're doing 40 to 50 songs a night, and you're gonna have a brain fart every now and then, especially when you're doing something newer. But it's I can't say it's the same for everybody. For me, I can say it's I'll forget which order the verses are supposed to be. I'll sing the second verse first, and while that's embarrassing, it's still like, okay, you can catch yourself and you can recover. But I have seen a lot of bands get up on stage and not be ready at all and just completely not have a clue what they're supposed to be doing. Starting the song and start singing in the middle of the song instead of where they're supposed to start singing or whatever. It's not something any musician wants to experience, but I think every musician has.
Yeah, definitely. Paul, you said that you're in a cover band. So how different is it from actually singing music that other people had performed? And because you get that the vibe, how the performers did it, versus how your concoction, your baby. How different is it from performing covers to your originals?
It's really, for me, not a lot different, because doing original bands as well for years, when you go out to do your original material, you prepare for it the same way. At least I do. So I'm going over stuff, listening to stuff, rereading lyrics, trying to make sure I remember exactly how everything goes. Once you get my age, I'm about to turn 55, so I've got a pretty good handle on all this stuff.
Lying is not good. You don't look 55 at all.
I am. I color this twice a week. This is why I shave my head. It's all gray. So no, trust me, I'm about to be. But you get out there and you prepare for it the same way. Doing other people's material, if you can, you try to emulate their sound and how they do it. If you can't, you do it your way and make it fit. Yeah.
Because you always want to add your style to it, right? You don't want it to be a carbon copy. You want to add your style.
And then there's certain artists you can play with that. If I'm doing an Iron Maiden song, I'm trying to be Bruce Dickinson. I'm not going to be Bruce Dickinson, but I'm going to try. If I'm doing a Queensryche song, I'm going to try to come close to that. I know I can't touch it, but at least I know I come close.
Yeah. I don't think anybody can really go to his range in his voice. The guy from Queensryche. I forgot his name. It just
Jeff Tate.
There we go. Thank you. See, I told you, old age is getting to me. So
yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that I can do. I can tell you, I can do some stuff, but there's a lot of it I can't. I would not dare lie about that. So some of it, yeah, hey, it sounds pretty good, and some of it's like, man, if you just hit that just a little better, it's like, yeah, shut up. I'm doing the best I can.
So with this new album, I know you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in it, David. Do you think this one here is we'll just say an upgrade from your other material? Did you evolve?
No, absolutely. It's a continuation of, and I'll go back and say, of the tones of the first song, but it's definitely, I definitely wanted to improve the structure. The first song was written first as a instrumental that was kind of morphed into a song. So the other songs were written with the purpose of obviously having lyrics in them. So, we worked on the arrangements quite a bit. What worked, what didn't. It was great to have, Paul there with his experience and to get the feel from obviously another great musician. I was really happy with how it came out. I think we have, a really good set of songs that's got some pretty good diversity as far as the types of songs. I don't think you'll ever find a guitar player that's 100% happy with things, because you always want to go back and redo things.
You're a tweaker, man. You're a tweaker.
I think that's in our DNA. But God blessed us so much throughout this project. We had ups and downs, we had tests and trials, but it's just a testament to the power of prayer.
Yeah.
And staying grounded in the Word and staying, committed to each other and uplifting each other when things were testy. And and here we are at the end of it, and God brought us through that. And it's just amazing what God has done in this project. And like Paul was saying earlier, we're working with two other great musicians, and we're working on getting a live component to the band now, and I really believe when it's ready to go, it'll be phenomenal. But I'm just after hearing these songs for months and months and months, you kind of get to the point where like, it's a good song. But people are like, man, I really love that song. I'm like, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
that's kind of the way you are as a musician, Yeah,
wherever you're like,
never really
I like it a lot,
with
man.
it.
It's like that. I wish I could change that part, or
Yeah, right.
Yeah, been through that a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's like that with any artist. Someone that is so consumed by their art that they there's always something like, well, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. Maybe if I tweak this here and here, but sometimes you can over tweak stuff and make it worse.
And that's exactly it. We overthink it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you need somebody to slap your hand when you're like, I'm going to change it here. Slap that hand.
We might need a hand slap for the next go around. Yeah.
So
having this record.
Well,
go ahead.
I was happy with it. We went with one tone for the rhythm guitars. I went back and kind of tweaked my lead tone a little bit with a different amp, and I was much happier with that. And we kind of stuck to that formula, and it worked really well. And I think for the next album we do, I think we'll we'll kind of stick with that. The next album will be very different, though. We'll, obviously we'll be doing it live, which will make a big, big difference. I think it'll be much better.
There'll be more influences in it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's still going to be prog, right?
What was that?
It's still going to be prog. You still going to be progressive, or are you going to try to change it up a little?
Yeah, I envision it kind of staying in the same vein. I mean, I think that, once we have everybody on board, I think that will naturally incorporate everybody's, influences and stuff. But I just think it will continue to evolve to get better.
I got David's the bands and all that he loved growing up when we talked last, but I haven't got yours, Paul. So who were some of your influences growing up?
Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Because I grew up in a household in the country, and we watched a lot of regular TV. So I had some weird influences. I liked Sonny and Cher because of the show. I liked the Osmonds. I liked the Hee Haw show, stuff like that. But at the time, with everything else coming up musically, I was also liking Yes and Kiss, just because of albums my sister would buy. The Eagles were actually an early influence. And then Foreigner was my first rock band that I really just gravitated toward Lou Graham's voice. I just love that man's voice. Great singer, very underrated. He's got so much great material that should have been hits. I don't know why it wasn't. And then, I went from there, as going through school, you hear more stuff from people when you get into, I wouldn't call him an influence, but I like the style of Ozzy stuff early on. I like Black Sabbath, of course. Was really a big fan of Dio with Black Sabbath and on his own. Really liked Queensryche when they first came out. When I first heard Queensryche, it was just an eye-opener, kind of like, how does anybody do that? It was everybody that I knew that was a singer or a musician wanted to do that, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, of course. But I also liked a lot of the pop music. I liked the Bee Gees. I think a lot of their stuff is extremely well written songs. Barry Gibb's great songwriter. Honestly, I could go on and on and on, but that touches some of the variety.
Yeah, and I'm with you about Queensryche, because my first album I ever owned from them was Empire.
Right.
And I listened it from the first song to the last song, and I couldn't believe the range and the way that the song kind of had a story to it. Similar to Operation Mindcrime. I loved Operation Mindcrime, Warning, Operation Mindcrime 2.
Well, the Warning was the first one I had, and then I got the EP after that, which came before that. And then Rage for Order hit, and it was like, oh, wow. And I got to see them open for Metallica on tour, and that was just like, he's doing it live. I can't believe it. Operation Mindcrime, though, will still be, hands down, one of the best progressive rock albums ever made.
Yeah.
And I know you probably people don't classify that as progressive rock, but it is.
Yeah. And Eyes of a Stranger on that album there, that one right there just hooked me in, because to me, it was a story. He was brainwashed, kind of a brainwashed story, and he fell in love with a nun, and I guess he ended up killing her without knowing it. And then he wakes up, he was
brainwashed into a cult that was feeding him drugs and made him a killer. And he was in this whole ring, and the nun was part of it. The priest was part of it. That was the story. And he fell in love with her because she was keeping his high going, so he could stay, in his mind, sane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now we have Behind the Music. The Johnny Taco Show has so many different aspects. It's crazy. So, with this album coming up, do y'all have any more songs that are in the lab right now that you are thinking about for upcoming albums in the future?
Yeah, definitely. We've got several that are just in the infancy, you know, whether it be just riffs or just open jams. And sometimes they're your best song starters right there. So that's the great thing about having the technology now to be able to record digitally at home, where you can lay down a riff and just keep it there, and you can go back and tweak it. You can, add drums, see if this one works, that one works. And then typically what I do is if I come up with an idea, I'll just put basically like a drum rhythm that will work with it. And I'll just email it out to everyone and say, hey, here's an idea. See what you guys think. And if everybody likes it, then we kind of can build on it individually. And it's just a much easier process that way, because we're still kind of spread out a little bit. That way, then in the future, when we come together, we can be really focused that way.
Yeah.
When it comes to songwriting.
You know what? I'm excited about seeing that new record coming up in a couple of weeks, and then more excited to hear more music from you in the future. We're getting close to the end of the show. You have this. I'm looking at this shirt here. It's like a samurai kind of T-shirt. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy.
That was David's idea.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty crazy. It's awesome. That is kind of the art style that I fell in love with when I look at band, like,
totally.
Band albums. Is that the album cover?
No. I think I sent you the album cover. It's got an angel with the two swords. Scott Waters from No Life Till Metal designed that for us. Did an exceptional job. Such a good guy. He works with Bill from Rocks Productions. But yeah, the samurai, that was just a take on, like you. I always really liked that motif, and just thought that would be just kind of cool, because it just seemed like everybody kind of used like the old English knight, and I thought that would kind of be different.
Yeah. It is different. I'm just looking at it. It looks really, really wicked. It looks cool. And you can get that on your website, right? Or is it on Rocks where you can get that shirt?
Yeah, it's actually, you can go to Christian Band T-shirts, and that's on there for order.
Okay. And, just go look for Transcendent.
Yep.
And you'll be able to help out this band.
Mm-hmm.
Because merchandise is really about 90% of your money that you get, because performance live, you don't really, performing live and things like that, it helps a little bit, but more of your revenue is in your merchandise. So, and I plead with the listeners. It's like, if you love this band and you want to keep them going and you want to show support, go on their merch sites and help them out. A little bit helps, for gas money, for strings, for beard product. Cause
any band that you go see live that you like something about, that you think they did something well, go buy something. If it's just a sticker, go buy something.
Yeah. You know what? That is so true. That is so true. And, I urge the listeners, to do that. And plus it shows love, hey, I love your stuff so much. I'm wearing my shirt just to show, because, I was at all when I saw a Johnny Taco shirt, somebody wearing a Johnny Taco shirt out in the wild.
Yeah.
And they didn't even know who I look like. Oh man, because I shaved my beard. The last time I had a pretty long beard. Might not have been as glorious as your mane right there, but I had a pretty long beard. But I ended up shaving it because when I went into the to Florida and I went to the water, it looked like an octopus attack on my face, a hairy octopus, you know. So, but is there anything you would like to promote? Anything upcoming? I know you're not live at the moment, but is there anything besides the record label? I mean, the record coming out in a couple weeks. That's July 26th, right?
26.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to put out there?
What you got, David?
Like I said, right now we don't have anything as far as live shows in the near future as far as that goes, but we will. But I would just simply say, go out and support any band. We all need support. We all need to get closer together to one another, and support each other. Even liking videos, even liking photos, things like that goes a long way. Because we're all trying to spread the gospel. We're all working toward the Great Commission that we've been given, and these are obviously the last days, and God is pouring out His flesh, He's pouring out Himself upon all flesh, and we're all have the same goal, and I really believe that we should be supporting each other. We're a brotherhood, and I definitely think that's one area that we could definitely get better in. And I would just say, go out and find a local band and go support them.
Yeah.
It'd mean the world to them.
Yeah.
It really is,
And praise them, when they achieve something that's monumental.
Yes.
Praise them, and then when they fall short, help them. Because if it shows that if you can help another person, it's like you're helping God. Because you're supposed to go out there and you're supposed to show love and compassion, even to those who don't love you, even to those that swear up and down that they hate you. You got to show love.
Yes.
And I'm not saying go hug a guy that's about to hit you with a baseball bat. No. That does not work out right, not by experience. But
the best thing you can do in that situation, and I'm telling you this from personal experience, and this is my opinion. You don't have to take it as the definite, but my opinion, what I do is I've had a lot of haters, a lot of people that will talk about me, put me down behind my back, and say this, whatever. I don't want to get into what's said, but what I do is I don't feedback. I don't argue. I don't go online and start and try to defend myself. None of that's necessary. You just be who you are, and eventually it will shine through, and people will see that whatever they say or whatever they're talking about meant nothing. That's the best thing you can do.
Amen. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for being on the show. And we're going to go out with that song, Awaken. That's what we need to do. We need to awake the woke people. And then we'll show the love and the light of God. So here it is, Awaken by Transcendent, here on the Johnny Taco Show. that's the end of the show. I want to give a shout out to Renovation Church at the Peak, as well as Finding Hope Festivals. To all the new listeners that happen to stumble upon here, thinking that this was a Food Network show. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you know what? I have the opposite. I love being the bearer of good news, and the good news is Jesus Christ, and you do get edification through the testimony and the music of our guest. Want to give a shout out to all the diehard listeners that listen to us on the daily. You are the sour cream on this Taco Supreme. And without you, I would just be talking to myself on the wall, and that would give ample ammunition for my wife to put me in Gotham forever. To everybody, remember, don't have a good day. Have a great day. Until we meet again, this is Johnny Tacos, and you are listening to Origin Stories.